Okay, so just finally, we're going to do some validation of our markup, our CSS, and we're also going to talk a little bit about CSS linting and how that might help you. So we've got our website fully built, we've got our portfolio website built, we've got our markup here, and we've got our CSS. As we've mentioned previously, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to paste this into the markup validation service on W3C and then get some ideas back of what you can improve. So at the moment, I've obviously written this in purely valid markup because I'm teaching it to you. But if you were to create, add to this in the future, make sure you come back and change and paste this into the markup validation service so you can see if there's anything that you can improve. Okay, so we're also going to do some CSS validation because we've written some custom CSS down here. So this is going to tell us if there's anything wrong with our CSS. So let's do a direct input and check that. And there we go. We've successfully validated it at CSS level 3. Again, because I'm teaching it to you, everything we've done is valid. Now, something that is going to shout at us is a CSS linter. Now, this is just one I Googled for, but there are a variety of different tools. There are different plugins for text editors that will lint your CSS. Now, essentially what this means is it will take your CSS and it will analyze the properties, it will analyze how you've written it, and it will give you basically feedback on what you can do to improve it. So we're going to paste our CSS into here and we're going to hit lint. And let's see. So we've got no errors, which is good. Like I've said, I've written this so there are no actual errors, but we've got 15 warnings. So let's just take a look at what these are and what we can do. So disallow import. Import prevents parallel downloads. Use link instead. Okay, so we've looked at using both the link and the import with CSS previous to this series, or previously in this series. So here we get an actual reason why it's not a good idea to use import. Personally, I like the way that import works because it keeps it within your style sheet. But in this case, it's telling us why it's not a good idea because it's preventing parallel downloads with other files that are trying to be included. So to do that, use them in your header. So we've also got require fallback colors here. Disallow IDs and selectors. Don't use IDs and selectors. So there's more advice here. You don't necessarily have to take this advice very, very literally. But in this case, it is saying don't use IDs. So we could get away with just changing that back to a class instead of an ID. Require compatible vendor prefixes. So the property Moz transition is compatible. Is compatible with WebKit transition. So it's saying we haven't included the Mozilla, we haven't included the O one, we haven't included the Microsoft one. So if we were to add them, half them errors would go, and we've just left with these ones, which to be honest are debatable. So if you want, go ahead and as a challenge, just go ahead and fix up these so you get no warnings. You probably will get some warnings about requiring fallback colors, and we've already done that. The fallback color should precede the RGBA color. But there we go. We've linted the CSS. It gives us the lines down here that are offending, and that's it. That's how we lint our CSS and how it can help us. And that's it. We've completed our portfolio. We've got valid markup, valid CSS, and there's a couple of things inside of the linter that we could go ahead and change just to make sure we are writing the code as best as possible.